and welcome to my channel. And I'm sorry that I'm doing this first video like this, but what I'm gonna do in this series is just talk about my life as a sperm donor. And I've actually been a sperm donor since 2022, and I started out with cryos, and but I've also been doing it privately because what you're gonna find is if you're a recipient is that these fertility clinics and sperm banks, they charge a significant amount of money, and which is it's their right to do so, and they have a business to run, but it's you can get I don't want to say the same thing, but you can get the same results through working with private donors if you know what you're doing and you're in the right spaces to do so. I mean, when you Google it, it's not really that helpful. There are several forms that I find to be inadequate. Initially, and I'm thankful for this, but I had a brother reach out from the West Coast. I'm actually based out of North Carolina, but I had someone from California who's also a donor. He told me to join a Facebook group, and what you'll find is a good way if you're a woman or a couple. Most of the time, I've dealt with lesbian couples trying to conceive. Facebook is a good place to go, but you have to know what you're doing and you have to know what you're looking for. And that's what this channel is going to be about. Also, maybe I'll chronicle my journey in this domain. I'm actually right now, I'm on a, I hate to say it, but I'm on a mission now helping recipients in the state of Kentucky, and hopefully this is a first time success, a one and only trip that I have to take. Now, that's one of the things you're going to have to look out for, because if you do find a donor through Facebook, or there's actually an app also. Before I get into the details, let me mention that there's an app called Jab, JAB. It stands for Just a Baby. You know, a lot of people say Jab, so yep. There's an app for that. And as a donor, I find Just a Baby app to be not so effective a tool. Like most of my recipients that I've encountered have been via the Facebook group, and only one via the forum is when I very first started doing this. It's a forum called VOY, and they have various topics, and it was one of them. So Reddit also has donor groups, but it's the same thing. It's not really effective. Now, the good thing about the Facebook groups is you can really find what you're looking for. If you're looking for example, I'm a black man, so there's several groups for black donors. So you'll be able to find a donor. I feel pretty easily. There are a lot of guys in the Facebook group who will be more than happy, but the key is getting what you want out of it, how you want it. What I mean by that is you have a lot of recipients who they want artificial insemination, and which is I offer that. I offer artificial insemination. You'll see it abbreviated as AI, as the acronym they use. But you have to know how to vet a donor, because I've heard some horror stories from some recipients where they'll set up with their donor, have the date, the time and the place planned, and then at the last minute he tries to push a natural method, or there's another method called partial. It's abbreviated as PI, and a lot of people say partial insemination, but there's nothing partial about insemination if you get pregnant. So I prefer the term partial intercourse. It's where you're trying to, get the result. You're trying to get the sperm where it needs to be, but you're trying to do that with minimal contact, which is again, and it varies, and that's a more of a trickier method. Speaking for myself as a donor, I've had cases where you insert and almost immediately it works out for you. You get to ejaculate, but then sometimes it's not the case, and then that can get annoying to recipients. So that's one of the methods that I'm kind of not keen on. And I always warn recipients like, hey, once we go with this route, or try to minimize the contact, but it could still end up taking between anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. So keep that in mind. Um, the best way, I guess, to vet a donor, if I were a recipient, were to be to talk to some of his previous recipients. And if he doesn't have previous recipients, this is when it gets tricky. Um, since you're trying to avoid going through the banks, you have to take a chance, essentially, especially, again, if this is his first time being a donor, you're going to be his first recipient. So he's not going to have any references for you. Fortunately for me, I have references. I've always been articulate, well-spoken, and I've always been able to write pretty well also, which is very helpful because when you get my donor statement, if you were to find my Facebook account where I um, do my donations, what you're going to find is I have an actual written statement explaining a little bit about myself without giving away. This is another tricky portion, the real name. Me personally, only time I'm comfortable giving a real name is when there's a contract involved that's going to be taken to a notary. That's the key, a notary, because at the very least you have that as a legal document stating your terms and what you expect. Because a lot of recipients want no contact between the father, between the donor and the child, which is that's my ideal because obviously I don't know these people and I can't take care of all these kids, so I never impose on or try to get involved in a child's life, but I do leave the window open to where once the child is 18 or however old the mothers or mother decide that the time is right, they want to meet the biological father, I'm open to that, but in no way, shape, or form do I want to co-parent. And all of these things should be discussed with your potential donor to build that type of trust. But one thing you could do to protect yourself is go ahead and video chat. If your donor doesn't want to do a quick video chat just to show you, yes, I'm the guy from the pictures, so you both can get a feel for each other. And I'm saying this is from the standpoint of this donor not having references. You want to vet them, and the only way to do that without references is just to have some sort of dialogue. Now, if you both live in the same area, if you're going to meet up before the donation, what I like to do is meet in a public place. It's frequented by a lot of people. You don't want to end up, meeting someone in some secluded area. And that's how I feel that recipients end up getting, those issues where the donor tries to change the method at the last minute, which that's really a disgusting move. You should, if you're a donor, and I don't know if donors are gonna really pay attention to my videos because I think everybody has their own little methods and their proprietary things that they do, but you shouldn't be doing that. It's like you go with whatever the recipient, and this has been my motto. I go with whatever the recipient is most comfortable with, whether they want for me to leave the sample in a restroom, in a hotel room, in a restroom while they're out of the room, that's fine. They could be in the room. One thing about me is I'm not going to try to do anything, crazy because I have a reputation to maintain, and I like to give people what they pay for. And that brings me to the last point before I close out this video. I'm quickly approaching the 10-minute mark. You want to, negotiate the price with your donor. I usually when I'm traveling, so obviously I'm not going to spend out of my own money to come to Bowling Green, Kentucky, to help out a couple, on my own dime. It's already much cheaper dealing with a private donor than it is with the banks. So, there's that. But I guess that's just part one of this, this intro into this method of trying to conceive. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'll have some face videos, or at least partial face videos. I'm going to try to maintain some anonymity, and for those interested, I'll also have links. I'll have an email address if you want to hit me up for a consultation, because I also know the best techniques to use when you are doing artificial insemination. I can guide you through that. But besides that, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. I'll get more into depth.